control in Sitakundo container depot fire jumps to 43 over 150 injured. Negligence in depot operation, says State Minister for Shipping for sees government's failure. Gas price once again increased by nearly 23%. Assalamu alaikum. This is Afra Anjum welcoming you all to Evening News. You have just heard the headlines. Now let's move on to the details. The death toll in the fire at a container depot in Chottagram's Sitakundo has jumped to 43. Hundreds of victims have been admitted to local hospitals with injuries. The President and Prime Minister have expressed their deep sorrow over the incident. The fire broke out at the BM container depot last night. Chottagram Fire Service personnel are struggling to bring the fire under control, and reinforcements were called in from Feni, Noakhali and Kumilla. As of 6 p.m. Sunday, 43 bodies were recovered and brought to Chottagram Medical College Hospital morgue. 13 of the dead have been identified. 7 of the dead are fire service personnel. Several burnt and injured fire service personnel are being treated at different hospitals. The fire service said although the fire was brought under control, it spread again due to repeated explosions. Poisonous gas was spreading along with smoke after the blasts. The army has arrived at the spot in the afternoon. The army team is working to prevent the chemicals from entering the sea. The law enforcement agencies said they are trying to rescue those trapped inside the depot. Several policemen were also burnt and injured in the fire. Patients have also been taken to various private hospitals in the city. About 5,000 containers are in the depot. The depot handles goods for export and import and is located about 20 kilometers from the country's main Chittagong seaport. The authorities said they can't find those managing the depot to guide the fire service. The export products may contain chemicals. The fire service said that there were 26 chemical containers.
চ্যালেঞ্জ হলো আমরা জানছি না, আইডেন্টিফাই করতে পারছি না কোন কন্টেইনারে কি আছে, এবং যেহেতু কেমিক্যাল এক এক কেমিক্যালের এক এক নেচার, যার জন্য আপনারা ভিতরে হয়তো আগুন দেখতে পাচ্ছেন, যার জন্য আমাদের সময় লাগছে, বেগ পেতে হচ্ছে ফায়ারটা এই এরিয়ার বাইরে কোথাও না চলে যায়, এবং এখনও ফায়ারটা আমাদের এরিয়ার মধ্যেই আছে বা সাগর বা অন্যদিকে কোনো দিকে ছড়িয়ে পড়ছে না।
The families of the victims of the container depot fire in Chottagram's Sitakundo are rushing from one hospital to another in search of their loved ones. People were flocking to Chottagram Medical College Hospital in the morning to look for their missing victims. They ran to every ambulance arriving at the emergency department in the hospital. They showed the victims' photos on mobile phones to the journalists or police, asking if they knew anything about them. Hearing news of casualties, many families went to the hospital but could not find their loved ones. The hospital's designated burn unit ran out of space. Its other wards have been turned into burn unit for providing treatment to those injured. Chottagram civil surgeon urged the city's doctors to come forward to serve the injured. Those who arrived at the hospital for treatment said that poisonous gas was spreading along with smoke after the blast. The Chottagram administration would pay 50,000 to each of the families of the dead and Taka 20,000 to each of the injured. Several probe committees were formed to investigate the blaze.
মোবাইল করছে করে বলতে যে আব্বা আমার ফায়ারটা গেছে, আমাকে কলমা করে মাফ করে দিও, আমি বাঁচবো না। আমার একটা ভাই, আমি আমার ভাইকে যাই, আমার ভাইয়ের আইয়াত দেখ, আমার ভাইকে দেখ, আমার একটা ভাই।
আমাদের প্রাইমারি কাজ হচ্ছে আসলে মানুষের ভিড় যেটা এটা কন্ট্রোল করা, কারণ ভিড় কন্ট্রোল না করা গেলে ডাক্তার সাহেব বা অধ্যাপক যারা আছেন বা মেডিকেলের সাথে যারা সংশ্লিষ্ট আছেন চিকিৎসা দিচ্ছেন, ওনারা কিন্তু আসলে রোগীদের পাশে গিয়ে প্রপার সেবা দিতে পারছেন না। মেডিকেল কলেজের পুরো সেট আপ যারা আছে সমস্ত লোকজন কিন্তু এখানে আছে, তার আন্তরিকতার সাথে সবাই কাজ করছে।
There has been negligence from those who run the BM container depot, State Minister for Shipping Khalid Mahmood Choudhury today said about the fire incident at Sitakundo.
সদস্যের একটা কমিটি আছে যারা হচ্ছে এই মনিটরিংগুলো করে। মনিটরিং করে মানে এই ধরনের যে একটা বেসরকারি কন্টেইনার ডিপো পরিচালনা করতে গিয়ে যেই ধরনের অনুমতি মানে নিয়ম নীতিগুলো ঠিকমতো তারা মেনে চলছে কিনা এরা কিন্তু মনিটরিংটা করে। কাজে এই মনিটরিংটাও সঠিকভাবে হয়েছে কিনা সেগুলো তদন্তের রিপোর্টে বেরিয়ে আসবে।
Claiming that the Sitakundo depot fire tragedy happened due to the government's negligence, BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has said the ruling regime has failed to construct even a mortar container in the country.
সম্পূর্ণ সরকারের ব্যর্থতা এই দুর্ঘটনার জন্য দায়ী। কারণ একটা কন্টেইনার পোর্টে যদি যথেষ্ট নিরাপত্তার ব্যবস্থা না থাকে, সেটা অগ্নি থেকে নিরাপত্তা, সেটা বিভিন্ন অন্যান্য বিষয়গুলো থেকে নিরাপত্তার ব্যবস্থা যদি না থাকে, তাহলে যে কোনো দুর্ঘটনাকে ফেস করার মতো যে ব্যবস্থা তারা তৈরি করতে পারেনি। পদ্মা সেতুর প্রথম উদ্বোধন মানে ফাউন্ডেশন স্টোন ভিত্তিপ্রস্তর স্থাপন করেছিলেন কিন্তু দেশনেত্রী বেগম খালেদা জিয়া, একদিকে না দুই দিকে, মামাতেও এবং ওই পারেও।
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina today directed the authorities concerned to go for nature-based solution to achieve sustainable development, keeping the environment protected. The Premier said this while virtually addressing a function on World Environment Day and Environment Fair 2022, coinciding with the National Tree Plantation Campaign and Tree Fair 2022. Sheikh Hasina said for preserving arable lands, the government is setting up 100 economic zones across the country to prevent indiscriminate establishment of mills and factories. She reiterated her call not to spare single inch of arable land uncultivated as the world is under threat of scarcity of food grains due to the pandemic and Russia-Ukraine war. Bangladesh Energy Regulatory Commission has raised wholesale gas prices by 22.78% to Taka 11.91 per unit. The decision will boost gas prices across the board, except for CNG users for vehicles. That means household users will pay Taka 1,080 compared to Taka 975 per double burner stove. The new rate will be effective from June. Although the government had said that immigration of Hajj pilgrims at Saudi end will be completed at Dhaka airport from the first day of Hajj flight, it has not happened today. First Hajj flight leaves Dhaka with 410 pilgrims. Pilgrims who flew to Saudi Arabia via Biman's first Hajj flight this year raised the issue while State Minister for Civil Aviation Mahbub Ali arrived at Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport to see them off. In reply, the junior minister said the immigration of Hajj pilgrims couldn't be started today as respective technical delegation of Saudi Arabia were ready to reach Dhaka. The government has scrapped this year's junior certificate exams as it has for the past 2 years. The JSEC and JDC exams therefore will not be held anymore as a new education system will be implemented in the future, said Education Minister Deepu Moni. The government will roll out a new education system in phases from 2023. Initially, it will be introduced in grades 1 and 2 in primary schools and grades 6 and 7 in secondary schools. Before ending, let's have a look on the headlines once again. Death toll in Sitakundo container depot fire jumps to 45, over 150 injured. Negligence in depot operations, says State Minister for Shipping. Fakhrul sees government's failure. Gas price once again increased by nearly 23%. And that's all from the newsroom for now. To know updates, videos of this bulletin, visit our website www.ntvbd.com. Besides, visit our YouTube and verified Facebook page for updates over NTV's all popular programs and bulletins. Our next bulletin, Shondhar Khobor, will be aired in Bangla at 7:30 p.m. Thank you for being with us. Have a good time.